Okay, good morning. Welcome to
FamilyMath number 90.
Family Math number 90. Okay, so yesterday one of the fun homework problems you had was from the 1988 AMC8, and it went like this: if rose bushes are separated or spaced 1 foot apart, approximately how many bushes are needed to surround a circular patio whose radius is 12 feet? Now this problem gave you a real hard time, right?
Yes.
And we ended up spending about 15 minutes talking about it yesterday. But it's a cool problem, so I thought we'd do something similar. But the problem is we don't want to go out and plant a bunch of rose bushes, right?
No.
No. Or do you?
No.
No,
You don't want to
okay.
make a patio.
Okay. So instead we're going to do this problem. You put that in there for me? A disc has radius 5.25 inches. How many Lego minifigs do we need to surround the disc if the minifigs are spaced 2 inches apart? Does this sound like a fun problem?
Yeah.
Yeah. You okay?
Yep.
All right. So here we go. You ready? Where's that disc?
The disc is right there.
The disc is right here, and this is an old UC Santa Cruz frisbee. So that's kind of fun, right?
Yeah.
You guys know where UC Santa Cruz is?
No.
It's in California. And where are our minifigures?
Here. All over the place.
Okay, so why don't you show me, just like put 3 or 4 on this disc, and then space them about 2 inches apart, and so we see what it looks like.
This.
Okay, this is a good start. Now let's see. Are we getting them spaced a little closer together? Okay. All right, now, can you see the pattern that's going on here?
Every time you add one minifigure, you go 2 more inches.
Anytime you add 1 minifigure, you go about 2 inches. Okay?
Except for the first one. You go 0.
Ah, except for the first one. Very good point, actually. When you put the first one on, you haven't gone anywhere. You're just picking the starting point when you put the first one on. Okay, so this looks like about right. So what do we have to figure out here if we're going to, instead of just doing it and then counting, if we want to do some math first, what are the sorts of things we're going to need to know?
The circumference.
The circumference.
The circumference. Why do we have to know that?
Well, because we're going on the length of the circumference when we put the guys on it.
Okay, so we're going around the length of the circumference. Now, how do you figure out the circumference of a circle?
It's 2 pi times the radius.
2 pi times the radius. You think I can write on the back of this thing?
Yeah. Wow.
I hope that erases.
Me too.
2 pi times the radius. What was the radius?
The radius is 5.5.
5.25.
Yeah.
2 pi times 5.25 inches. Okay, and that turns out to be about 33 inches. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, so it's about 33 inches around our disc here, right?
Yes.
So if every time I add one of these minifigures, I go 2 inches, so it takes 2 to go 2 inches, 3 to go 4 inches, 4 to go 6 inches, 5 to go
8 inches.
5 to go 8 inches. How am I going to figure out how many we need to go all the way around? What do I need to do?
Well, 6 can be 10 inches, but so
We can just put them down.
Well, yeah, we can just put them down and count, but I want to do a little bit of math first to try to figure it out how many you think we're going to need.
This is also about 32.
It's also about 32.
And 32 is pretty easy to make.
Okay, how would you make 32?
I would need 17 people.
Why?
Because the first one doesn't go anywhere.
The first one doesn't go anywhere.
yeah.
And then 16 times 2 is 32.
Aha, 16 times 2 is 32. So we think we're going to need about how many to go all the way around then?
About 17.
About 17. So hopefully, if we found that it took 10 to go around, that would be different than our math. And if we found it took 100 to go around, that would be different than our math. But if we find 16 or 17 or 18, we're going to think our math was about right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we do it? Now, we do have to be careful that we're getting these about 2 inches apart. And actually, this guy's a little far, but that's okay. So why don't you try, and then we'll measure, and then we'll count. Okay, go ahead. You can put them on this side while your brother puts them on the other side. Is that about 2 inches? Okay. About 2 inches. Yeah, you guys are getting it about right. Oh, that looks a little far. Okay. This is kind of fun.
Yeah.
All right, and then maybe one more in there. Does this look like we spaced them out about right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we thought there was going to be 17, you said?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Count.
All right, now let's count. Where do you want to start?
I'll start here.
Yeah.
1, 2,
Okay.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
16.
Oh, 16, yeah.
Okay. So we start with this guy. It was actually a good idea to mark it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Hey, so it was real close to what we thought, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was actually pretty cool. And the one trick on this problem, now of course we didn't measure this exactly, precisely, but that's why the problem was just set approximately yesterday. We used the math to figure it out, and the one thing we need to figure out was how far around the circle was it. And so we just needed one little formula from geometry, 2 pi times the radius. And again, this was actually a pretty cool problem. All right, thanks for doing this, guys. That was fun. High five. All right, good job.